Welcome back. Hundreds of thousands of acres of southwestern forests have burned over the last decade, decimating land and creating concerns with water security. That's why the Nature Conservancy and partners, they are embarking on a reforestation initiative designed to bring scorched land back to life in the face of climate change. We spoke with Collin Haffey. They are the conservation manager at the Nature Conservancy in New Mexico to find out more.
Joining us this morning, we have Collin Haffey with the Nature Conservancy in New Mexico. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. A very important topic that we're covering because we're talking about getting our forests up and running once again in our state. And just like every native New Mexican, we all know that's due to wildfires. So let's start there. Let's start with the burn scars that you guys are trying to help revive.
Yeah, so one of the places that we're working really hard is in the Las Conchas burn scar, which burned in 2011. And, you know, as we know, our forests in New Mexico have historically relied on mild, frequent fires to be healthy. But over the course of a century of excluding those fires, we've built up a lot of, we've built up too many trees. And so in the recent decades, we're really seeing a change where our forests are burning with such high intensity and with such high severity that it's leaving behind treeless patches that are just so big that what we're learning is that our forest species can't actually get their seeds into the middle of those patches. And so I've been out in the woods, in the Jemez Mountains, especially up on some high peaks, and looking around, and you can hardly see a living tree, sort of like 360 degrees around. And so what we're trying to do is replant in the middle of some of those patches to sort of jumpstart this process that otherwise would take centuries for the trees to kind of move their way in naturally.
How crucial is it to get trees regrowing in some of these massive burn scars that we see in our state?
Yeah, trees are fundamental to our ecosystems. They're fundamental to, all kinds of wildlife and habitat for birds and deer and elk and all kinds of things like that, but also they provide shade and protect our snowpacks and create healthy water, and they filter that water as it comes down from the monsoon rains, when they do come, and once the snow hits, they're keeping that shaded out so that it doesn't just evaporate up into the atmosphere and it seeps down into our soils, and then eventually hits our rivers and streams.
And it's pretty safe to say that, especially when they're around close communities, it can protect those communities as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. A healthy forest can protect a community from the high severity, really severe, intense wildfires, like Las Conchas or Cerro Grande or things like that.
All right, so let's talk about rebuilding our forest right now. There's a nursery in Mora that is helping you guys out right now. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so the John T. Harrington Forestry Research Center and Nursery has been an amazing partner, and they're a local group that is building the capacity for us to be able to plant trees that are actually drought hardy. And so they have this state-of-the-art technology to grow the trees in a way that when you put them out in the ground, they're already prepared for hot and dry conditions. And so that's what they're going to see their whole life, and that's what they're going to experience. So we condition them to grow that way in early on as they're young. And I also want to mention a couple other local partners that we have. We've been working with Santa Clara Pueblo to actually their forestry program to do the reforestation work and actually plant the trees. And they've been dealing with a lot of fire in their canyon, and they've planted over 1 million trees over the past decade. So we're really learning a lot from our partners there. And also the New Mexico Highlands has a new accredited forestry program. We've been working really closely with them, as well as Bandelier National Monument in the U.S. Forest Service. And so without them, none of this work would get done.
Wow, that's remarkable. I know we were talking before the interview that it would be nice if some of our viewers who tend to go out and hike and would be able to help plant, but that's not possible right now because of COVID. So what's the next best thing that we can do to help you guys out?
Yeah, so one of the biggest limitations actually to being able to grow these trees is seed. We don't have enough seed to be able to plant and grow a little seedling. And so one of the things we're doing through this project is trying to identify seed sources and trying to, identify those big trees that are growing big healthy cones. And so we're working with a group out of the University of Kentucky to develop an app so that people who are actually out hiking around and happen upon a big healthy, ponderosa pine or maybe even a pinon pine or something like that that's growing big seed and big cones, they can snap a picture of it, collect a little bit more information, and then send that to our scientist partners. And then we'll work with them to say, yeah, that would be a great place to send the crew out to collect that seed in the fall when it ripens up.
That's such a smart idea. I'm still helping out while still socially distancing, right?
Socially distancing, everybody can get outside, and we're just taking advantage of all the people in New Mexico who love to hike around in the woods.
Oh, and we have a lot of them here. We sure do. Some
Absolutely.
of our viewers, if they want more information about the projects that you guys are undertaking, how can they find that?
Yeah, so the best way to find it is go to our website, nature.org/New Mexico, and or visit our Facebook page just by searching the Nature Conservancy in New Mexico. And we hope to update folks with progress on our seedling work and our reforestation work, as well as, as that app becomes available to the public, definitely get that rolled out. And then hopefully, we'll see everybody out in 2021 and we can plant some trees together. And once we're able to be in groups. So I'm looking forward to that.
That would be nice. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.